Hey folks, Dr. Socrates here, and I just woke up, and my first guide blew up overnight, and I am honestly kind of speechless. Thank you so much for the initial support. I knew that this was like an undercovered niche, and I really wanted to just get something out there. A little rough and unpolished, but enough to get people started. And thanks to your guys' response, I now know that hey, I really enjoy this, and I'm gonna cover even more soon. But in the meantime, before I get into like more of the nitty gritty and whatnot, I did want to show a recent highlight from one of my live streams, which you can catch over on my Twitch channel. I am highlighting the VODs for safekeeping later, so that you guys can follow along my thought process as I live commentate the entire journey from day one to whatever the final day of my first campaign is. And having the experience and game knowledge from other Arknights game modes and other Arknights stages, along with the first Reclamation Algorithm, really helped me to get a very, very good start on my first run, getting into the stone area of the map on day 10-ish. So that should give you an idea of where I'm at in terms of pacing and the amount of stuff that I have. It's also worth noting that I have an account that I've been playing since launch, and I get it. The inherent design of the game mode is really, really rough on newer players, and if you have to resort to point farming, I can't hold that against you. This is a very complex game mode, reminiscent of like the grand strategy layer of XCOM, and it's just going to be very, very rough to experience that without all the tools that the game designers want to have you have available. So the other thing too is that meta operators are strong. There's no surprise with that. But the thing about them is that they basically replace the jobs of multiple other operators. And I wanted to show a highlight here to exemplify that. We're going to be taking on the Fortress map here called Battle Instincts. This is a returning map from Reclamation Algorithm 1. And in this map, the objective for fortress maps is to siege an objective here that has very tanky stats. Is basically like a little fortress tile, while warding off things that could kill you, like the environment, or in this case, as you'll see, the weather. We are now on day 19 when we put this to siege, and the monsoon season is introducing weather effects across the board. So you'll have to see me deal with that during this highlight here. So I'm just going to have this on mute. I'm just going to be post-commentating this, but you'll see me draft my team. And so on fortress maps, the fortress has around like 600 defense and not a lot of res, but it has like, like 6 digits of health or something, like a million health or something along that line. So you're going to be wanting operators that can damage it safely and sustainably as well. So not so much burst damage, but sustained DPS. We are doing this with the initial base level, so we haven't built any of the deployment cap upgrades yet, and that's going to make things rough, but that just means we have to juggle cooldowns and take more operators. This is why food is very much important in the early game, and I highly recommend that above all else, you prioritize just having food to do everything, or to do anything with your operators day by day. This is going to make sure that you have more things to do as you have the days pass by, and you'll have more resources to draw from in case something bad happens. You're not going to be perfect with all of this, and that's kind of the point. You have resources to rely on to kind of draw from in case of emergency. So anyways, let's start by surveying the map here. As you can see, I'm kind of panning the map and using melee operators to scout tiles. You can see I've already identified where the fortress spawn is going to be. It's either going to be on either side of that volcano or to the undeployable tile on the south, which you cannot scout with melee operators. You'll see me put my vanguards in the lower right. This is to prevent them from getting attacked by any of the enemies on screen, but they are still susceptible to weather, and they'll get owned by lightning in a few minutes here. But as you can see, I'm using Myrtle. I made a point of picking, actually, if we pause, I made a point of picking vanguards that can easily be replaced with lower tier counterparts of the same thing. So yes, I'm using Ponsiris and I'm also using Flametail and Kestrel, but if you don't have them, you can just as easily be using Fang and Texas normal. It's just a matter of you'll just have slightly less wiggle room to do so, and you might not be able to clear this in one action point. You might have to go back and re-siege it again. And there's no shame in doing that. It might be inefficient, but in the wise words of Wild Mudkip, it is far better to play inefficiently than it is to play efficiently and burn out. And, you know, if it's beyond your reach, then you just try to get as far as you can, and then the game knowledge and material goods that you gain from the store or just playing the game normally will eventually help you to achieve new levels of power. And like I said, this is a long-term game mode. If you have to spend a long time playing other stuff before coming to this, that's completely fine, and this guide will be here for you, and this mode will be here for you when you eventually return and see what all the fuss is about. And, you know, if they put, you know, Originium pulls into the reward shop, then I suspect there's gonna be a lot more interest in these kinds of things. So anyways, I'm going to be laying down my vanguards in that lane. That's also where the protection objective is if you have to use this as a raid interception map. And today we're going to be using Jay. Jay's skill 2 is single-handedly what's going to carry him here, but he needs time to activate it. And as you can see, I mess up. This is not a perfect clear, and the volcanoes on the right side there will absolutely blow up Tuye to hell and high water. So we're going to try again. Jay's deployment time gives me enough time to just slide him back in to take care of Pompeii, because we really need Pompeii out of the picture if we want to siege this fortress safely. So we're just going to wait for his redeployment time and try again, and this time I'm going to opt to use Shining. My original plan was to get Shining and Hoshiguma plus Tuye and Bubble to cover the patrols, but as you'll see later, this isn't really needed. So now we get Shining to go get off one heal, and that's all we need. Now Jay is, his skill is activated. He gets bonus damage towards infected creatures, and that means that he's going to deal a lot of damage to Pompeii while surviving himself against the onslaught. And he's not on a lava tile too. And Pompeii is just gonna chill there. He's just gonna stay there all map, pretty much. So we're fine. First patrol spawning in from the southwest, and they are basically all Originium slugs. I already know the spawns for this. They reduce defense, but anybody with thorns can deal with that. And so I'm just going to drop Hoshiguma. Jay is done killing Pompeii, which means we need to start setting up our siege engine. We'll retreat the vanguards as needed, and we're going to set up thorns, horn, and fire whistle. If you don't have horn, you can just as easily use what's it called, Ashlock as well, but you know, with the lower star operators you don't get that AFK option and more power levels. Hoshiguma did die there since she didn't have medic support, and we are also using the medic passives from the logistics operators at level 3 base. Level 3 base unlocks logistics operators, which gives you options to basically bench operators that you're not using for class specific buffs. And in this case I took I took 2 medics with 3 pips right there, and as you can see I'm also setting up Tuya to try and handle the other patrol, but that's not going to work out because she will die. But anyways, the logistics operators, those are a really good upgrade for getting operators that you don't use to be useful. Everybody is useful here, even if you have leveled them and you're not really using them. The more levels that they have up to their E2 module upgrade unlock level, the more passive benefits they'll provide, and you will not have to use as many operators to get the same effect. So again, leveling your back roster or having just some off-roster characters that are E2'd and maybe even module upgraded will be a boon for you. In fact, I think I'm going to stick Earth Spirit there the next time I get the chance. Probably Earth Spirit and Valarkvin for my supporter buff, because that provides bonus damage against resources. Now we've hit the 2-minute mark, and we've got... we're past the 2-minute mark actually, and we can see the patrol spawning from the other enemy incursion point, more slugs. What I will do here is I realize, okay, Shining, I don't have enough DP since Jay is sucking up my DP. That's really, really bad. But what I end up doing is Hoshiguma's off cooldown, and we can manage that redeployment cooldown just fine. We have just enough points for her when we retreat Shining, and so we lay her down there to take the aggro, and the heat tiles do the rest along with the thorns, and she doesn't have to outlast the entire thing. And from here on out, it's just siege time. We have a minute left on the clock, and honestly, it's not looking good for us. We might not 1 credit clear this, and we might have to come back to destroy the rest of this. So I pull out every stop in the book. I don't have my fast redeploy operators to assist me here, so the only other sources of damage that I have are basically my Vanguard team, and they're off cooldown and they're ready to roll. Especially with Jay in here, they're going to be useful to have generating more DP. There goes Kestrel popping her auto skill. And yeah, through a combination of Kestrel crits, Jay sustaining this, Thorns and Horn and Fire Whistle laying down siege damage, we are able to just barely, in the nick of time, take down this fortress, even under stormy weather. And I'm just really proud of this clear. And this should give you an idea of where you want to be at in terms of game knowledge and the amount of operators that you have. And like I said, every squad is different. I'm not going to know what your roster is like, and so it's up to you to figure out what you like fielding and matching that with the threats that you have ahead of you here. I can go over more operator recommendations in the future and more base suggestions and to give you guys inspiration on what you should sink your resources towards next. But at the end of the day, it does come back down to you. It is not a team game, and I can't offer my support units for example. It's not like League of Legends where you can make 5 enemies and plus 4 more if you really don't like your teammates. This is a solo game, and ultimately it is up to your own account to progress. So anyways, I just wanted to share this real quick in between making more content for the next video. And as a recording, I am going to have a nice weekend to myself, so we're going to be playing a lot of Reclamation Algorithm very slowly, so that we can kind of take notes along the way and make observations, discuss strategies, and maybe during the ad breaks that Twitch forces on me, I can go on to YouTube and look at more comments that you guys have been leaving, which by and large you guys have been great, and I really appreciate the feedback, responses, and more questions to answer that you guys have been giving me. I really love this game mode, and if this gets you started off on the right path, then my mission will be complete, and you guys can at least survive and see what there is to offer in the grand lands of Sargon. So as of today, we're going to be planning to stream more of my first campaign. I haven't reset yet. We're probably going to start at around the evening time, Pacific time, and then on Saturday I plan to stream basically when I wake up all the way until bedtime for that. So look forward to that, and this is going to be giving me a lot more fodder as well for discussion for my next video. It's probably going to be a long one again, but I'll try my best to condense the information into stuff that's easily readable, and yeah, we'll take it from there. There's a lot to do. I don't have an editor. It's just me. I can do some basic video editing, but it takes me a long time, and I have to weigh that against getting the information out there in a form that's easy to see versus just spending time and polishing it up and finding artists and editors to do all this with. So it is what it is. I do this as a passion project, so that's what I got to work with. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Again, follow me on Twitch for those live streams so I can answer your questions live, hopefully, while I'm playing. And I also have been saving my VODs on Twitch, as I mentioned, so you can watch them there. I'll try and see what I can do to upload VODs here, but no promises. I don't want to clog the channel with a whole bunch of 5-hour stream VODs that people may or may not watch and may or may not want in their subscription box. So do let me know what your opinions are on that. I do want to kind of see what people are saying about this. And yeah, we'll see you next time, either on stream or in the next video.